Right, so as per usual, let's start off with the usual stuff. Give us a like, give us a follow, all that sort of stuff. Help get the channel out there a bit more, blah blah blah. Right, so this is a bit of an impromptu video. You can see I'm in my work gear. I'm in a tranny van. Just gone picking up some parts and stuff. And basically, right, Bill's other car, so he has his Lotus, what you may or may not have seen on the channel before. His other car is a Mistubishi Airtrek. If you don't know a Mistubishi Airtrek, it's essentially an Evo 7 in a bit of a rebodied Mitsubishi Outlander. So it's a bit of a bastardised car, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty quick. It's about 300 odd brake horsepower. It's 4-wheel drive, but it's automatic, and he's painted half of it pink. But if you can look beyond the pink bits, it's actually a pretty cool car. So anyway, the suspension has collapsed on it pretty much on the driver's front side. So we've been trying to get replacement parts for it, and they're all on back order. They're all standard gears on back order for months, literally into the new year. So we've had to get some coilovers on it because Bill has an urgent trip he has to do over Christmas, and the car just won't make it in its current condition. So we're left with no option but to chuck some coilovers on. So I'm heading back to the garage now, where Bill should have the car on the ramp by the time I get there. We'll do a bit of a walk around, and then I'm going to show you us basically fitting coilovers that we've got last minute to chuck on this car and get it back on the road. So this is the thing, modifying out of necessity almost. Let's see how it goes. The other thing is there wasn't actually a listing specifically for the Mitsubishi Airtrek, so we've had to get Mitsubishi Charisma parts, or whatever. Is it Charisma? Whatever it is anyway, and whatever a non-turbo Lancer was, and yeah, let's see if they fit. We're pretty sure they do, but this could all go wrong very quickly. Let's see how we get on. Catch up as soon as I get back to the garage. So this is the car. Bill's made more progress than I realised by the time I've got back. Well, this is an Airtrek, if you don't know an Airtrek. Just walk you around it dead quickly. Like I say, it's essentially an Evo 7 estate, and then Bill's painted these pink bits and these flip colour wheels. I don't suppose they'll show very well on the video, but they're like flip paint, green to purple. Now the thing with this is, it comes with Ralliart suspension. I'll show you. Ralliart. It's all nice and red and white, and this is the problem we've had trying to replace it. So like I say, Bill's made more progress than I realised, and he's got one of the new shocks already in. So we're just going to assess it now and make sure it all fits properly. Like I say, they weren't supposedly a direct fit for this car, but as you can see, it's all fitting up quite nice. Top mount, camber adjustable and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we're just going to get all this attached now, see how low it is basically, and see if it's going to work. And so there we are. So it's all in and fitted. It all fits up. The next test we've got to do is basically chuck the wheels on and drop it on the floor and just make sure it's not too low, because obviously this isn't a stancy car. The idea isn't to stance it out and go drifting or whatever it is. It is actually for Bill's missus to drive every day, so it can't be too low. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to get the other side on, and then drop it to the floor and see what it's like. So we'll keep posted with the progress. Alright, so the moment of truth, Bill's just whacking the wheels on, and yeah, eagle-eyed amongst you might realise he only puts 2 or 3 wheel nuts in. It's because it's literally just for weighing things up. We've got to go back and bolt everything up properly. I don't think we're going to take them kind of shortcuts, but the idea is we're just going to put the weight on now and see just how low or not low it is, and see if we've got away with this. But everything fits pretty much as it should. What do you reckon, Bill? It's yeah, it's not too bad, is it? And there we go, that's how it will sit. I think that is a successful mission.
right.
Yeah, so compared to the back, which is still standard at the moment, and it's pretty much standard ride out. Now obviously we've wound it right out to the maximum it'll go, but these coilovers have really pulled those out with a pickle, to be honest with you. So we'll get everything buckled up nicely, tightened up, and we'll take it for a spin and see how it handles. Right, so before we get this out on the road, I just thought I'd give you a bit of information on these in case you don't know. So as you can see, this is essentially an Evo 7 engine. So in standard guys, these make supposedly about 240 brake horsepower. But this one's been fettled a little bit, not massively, but like I say, it's been remapped to, we think, over 300 brake horsepower, give or take. So standard 0 to 60 is about 6.5 seconds because of the auto gearbox. And this is a little bit quicker than that. I'll show you the inside of it because it's pretty interesting inside. So this is the inside. As you can see, all the buttons are in Japanese. The screen, if we was to turn it on, is all in Japanese. And obviously there's stuck a new head unit in it, so it's got a turbo timer and all that sort of stuff. This is for the gas conversion that Bill's put on. Personally, I find gas conversions extremely boring, but if you're interested in that sort of stuff, let us know. Bill knows everything there is to know about gas conversions. No idea if that's of interest to people or not, but like I say, it's all Ralliarted out to death, this thing. It's got proper custom fit Ralliart foot mats in it and stuff like that. What else is interesting on it? So that, I don't know if you can see, is a Ralliart back box. These are the flip wheels. Don't know if we can see the different colours, green to purple, depending on where the light is. No idea if the camera will pick that up or not. And then, like I say, the standard Ralliart suspension that we're taking off. And the only reason we're taking it off is because we went dicking. Trying to do 6 things at once is difficult. And this is the suspension we're replacing it with. Like I say, it's cheap stuff off eBay. And usually we would say don't bother, but this actually looks quite decent. It's called, what are they called? Max Speeding Rods. Which sounds very Chinese, but who cares at the end of the day? If it does the job, it does the job. And for right now, it's doing the job. It only has to last 5 minutes and get built to where it needs to go over Christmas. And it's earned its £200 asking price. For £200, you can't really beat them, I would say. But let's give it a long-term test and see how we get on. So I'll come back once we start the rears, or once we've got the fronts bolted up properly, and with something more interesting to talk about. So we're here, we're in the wild, we're getting in, we're going to test it for the first time. Right, in we go. Seatbelt is on. Yeah. Have you noticed anything initially coming out of the garage? No?
It feels absolutely completely fine. The noise is gone.
Well, the noise is definitely gone, yeah. So I think it feels right, doesn't it? It's no
Track and date, but yeah.
Yeah, but of course. But the what do you call it? It was a bit wishy-washy, wasn't it? Initially, a little bit soft. It does feel a little bit just less rolly, really. Which I suppose that's what you're going to get. It's a little bit stiffer. There seems to be a little bit extra camber on there, and that's most likely why it's less wibble.
Gymnast!
So this is going to be the real test. This is quite a big, fast roundabout. We'll not see if there's any improvements here. slightly unsuccessful because of fucking idiots on road, but
It's Wally at the back. I can't think of.
yeah. But the fronts that we've done are right, aren't they? We've not touched the backs.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that in.
Potentially this is plastics off 3-bolt fitted.
Yeah.
Get these fronts out.
Well, we'll see you back at the garage, but that's been a successful mission, I would say, as far as fitting stuff that isn't necessarily listed for the cars. He bolted straight on, and he's not harsh or anything. Like I say, if it was one of our normal cars, the Porsche, the KA, the Lotus, you could live with it being quite harsh. Well, because this is Bill's sort of everyday car, we didn't want it to be too harsh, so we was genuinely ready to rip the coilovers straight back off if they were silly. But these are actually really nice. They're fairly soft as far as coilovers go. They're pretty much the same ride height as standard. We're purposely hitting potholes and stuff here to test it out, and you genuinely wouldn't know. And I know it had the uprated Ralliart suspension on before, and that's what we're comparing it to, and it's genuinely what it feels like. Now I suppose as time goes on we'll work out the quality of them, because like I say, they were pretty much the cheapest coilovers I've ever seen in my life, so neither of us had particularly high expectations, but they seem to have exceeded them all. So yeah, not a lot we can grumble at. And as soon as we are a pair of grumbly old bastards nowadays, we're quite pleasantly surprised. Right, see you back at the garage. I believe I can fly. He's trying to fly off. What's he doing? The cow is flapping his wings. He's trying to fly off. So that's again a standard Ralliart rear shocker in situ, about to be ripped off. Now we're going to see if it actually fits. So the fronts did a bit of homework on to make sure that they do actually fit. The rears, to be honest, we winged it a bit. So let's see.
Winner. Yep.
So that would suggest it's going to work. So this is roughly in place.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, you have to adjust it off the, what do you call it? Like that, it'll turn there.
Whoa, hang on, don't get me the old shocker.
Right, and so my camera ran out of battery, but that's pretty much the end of it. We'll put the rear suspension on, and the little orange thing at the bottom that you can see Bill trying to adjust at the very end of the video. Basically that's the bit that screws onto the bottom of the damper, and then it has your Bosch what fits on your suspension arm. It turns out that is a bit too long. That's the bit that we winged. We didn't measure it up properly, and it's about roughly 1 inch too long. So we fitted it anyway, and everything fits, everything works. Just the car's got a load of rake on it. It's like this, like it's it's like it's braking. It looks like it's braking as you drive along like that. Apart from that, it drives perfectly fine. So what we've done is we've actually contacted max speeding rods, and we weren't hoping for an whole lot, to be perfectly honest with you. As luck would have it, they're really good company to work with, it would seem. They're going to send us some new lower, I don't know what you'd call them, cups, rods, whatever you want to call that piece, 1 inch lower, basically to our own specification. So we can put them on, and the car will be exactly right then. So this is the end of part 1. We're obviously just waiting now for them bits to turn up from China, so we can chuck them on. It'll be a 5-minute job to get them on, see how the car sits, and we'll take it out for a proper drive or whatever you want to call it at that point. But we've been using the car for a week or so now, raked up like it is, and it drives brilliantly. It drives really good. Really pleasantly surprised with a really cheap set of coilovers off eBay. So we'll see how they hold up over time. But like I say, initial impressions are really good, and also impressions from speaking to the company are equally as good, believe it or not. So yeah, let's see how we get on anyway. We'll keep you posted when everything turns up. So this is likely to be the last video before the New Year. As you can see, it's Christmas. Got the Christmas tree up and that. So if I don't make another video, Merry Christmas. Hope everyone has a good New Year. We'll see you in 2022, where we've got lots of other exciting things planned. Right, see you in a bit.